I guess so. Hi, you want to be in a video? You're in my YouTube. Goodbye. Oh, you're going to hang out? How cute. Aw. There's a lot of birds and bunnies in that bush. She found her bird. Oh, there she goes. Bye. Have a good night. Alright, let's see. I don't know. Just trying to get a view of the clouds for you. Didn't mean to make you watch me tune, but had I not turned it on, you wouldn't have gotten to see that cute dog. Alright. Itchy. Okay. All these clouds in the sky, way up higher than me. I know you're up there too, in infinity. And I can see with my mind. I'm on YouTube.
Oh, sorry.
It's okay. You can sing. Okay. I love your singing. Bryan writes songs all the time. He just doesn't preserve them like I do. I won't say anymore because I don't want to embarrass him. In a picture, in a book that I borrowed or stole from the ancients. Piece of clay in a seed like mine. to you. I wanted to be something greater than I've been till now. I wanted to rhyme with time in my mind. I feel you closing doors. I feel you've been closing doors this whole time, and I wasn't listening. I wasn't wanting to learn from my future self. I wasn't listening, so I used my time writing songs about the world around me. Songs I didn't need to write. Songs I didn't need to write. Didn't need to write at all. I'm too itchy for some reason. I was dusting today. I think I have a pretty strong dust allergy. I wore my mask and everything, but it still bothers me. More clouds, upside down cars. Well, my hair's in my face too. I just got back to Michigan a few days ago and immediately started teaching. So today's the first day that I've had like some time to think. And it's pretty weird because my YouTube's like over 2 months behind. So I don't know who I'm trying to imagine talking to right now, but it's a lot to have gone through. I mean, if I end up posting all of these in order, then I'll have shared the one written in Sturgeon Bay and I think one in Lake Geneva, maybe. I don't know. I don't know what this is. I guess I just like sharing process because I've spent most of my life being ashamed of being who I was, mixed with being really proud to be who I was, and really no middle area. And now I just think it's a sort of soft and everyday kind of thing. To just be a songwriter and capture moments, you know. And, you know, this is the unformed stuff. In the old days, I used to edit the lyrics and, like, make them into something really polished. Now I don't really do that much. I write a lot of improvised songs now, but I don't know. It's not like I'm saying that's better. It's just sort of what I've evolved to after a decade and a half of writing, recording, releasing albums, maybe just a decade. Anyway, so that's my story. Hello. Clouds. Been through a lot emotionally lately. I can't even say it's politics this time. I think that for me, I really believe in the wisdom of vision quests, even though I'm not Native American. As far as I know, I don't think we have any of that in our bloodline, but I read something when I was 18 that just taught me that going east is exploring your own past, going west is exploring your own future, going north is exploring your own mind and intellect, and going south is exploring your own heart. And maybe other more complicated things, but that was a very simplified version of something I read in a book when I was very young from the Racine Public Library, and those ideas stayed with me my whole life. And then when I got older, it started freaking me out that all I ever did is travel east. I did a semester in London. I went to New York for grad school. I'm from Wisconsin, like the middle of the U.S. Not quite middle. But London, New York, and then I joined a touring children's theater that said that it toured the country, but it kept only going east because the founder of the company had family out east. And so it kind of developed around those places originally and then just kind of grew from there. And pretty much went to almost every East Coast state and a lot of East places while with that touring children's theater. And then pretty much still never went west at all. Like barely west of the Mississippi. My brother moved to Minneapolis right out of college and then built a life there. And so I would go just over the Mississippi for that and then just over it to Texas for one job. Flew to Hawaii one time for something, but up until 2 years ago I had just never been west other than those really isolated experiences. And I'm saying this as someone who has been, I guess, lucky enough to travel a lot or just has been unstable enough to move around a lot, but all of it has been east for me and with these tiny blips of west. And so, and I live now east of where I grew up. And it feels like that. It feels like sinking into, like being a seed being planted somewhere backwards. And so that's not against Michigan. It's maybe a difficulty with Michigan for myself. Because I feel like when I'm my true self, I feel like I stand out here in a way that's not comfortable for me. And there's insane amounts of talent here, so it's not like stand out here in terms of like talent or skill sets. I mean, I'm sure, yes, I have high skill sets, blah, 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 but more with piano than with singing, but like still, I'm just saying, like I'm not referring to that. That's not what I mean by stand out. I don't know exactly what I mean. I don't know. Just a different approach or different way of seeing life than some people that I've been around. I don't know. So a part of me is finally maybe sitting still enough in an easterly place to like think through what east really is for me. And I'm starting to dream more about what west could be for me. And maybe that's where all this exploration in Door County, Wisconsin, in Lake Geneva, Wisconsin, in Minnesota, my sister living in Colorado, like things like that are just starting to really pull at my heart. When I was a kid, LA, I had a pen pal in LA and Hawaii, and West always pulled at me. And then I just had all this trauma, and after that, and just developed this obsession with, to not even talk about places, developed an obsession to explore my own past and to heal my own trauma. But it's like, can we heal our trauma? Or can we just do our best to like move on? I don't know. Because I've spent most of my young life, I don't even feel young anymore at all, but I've spent most of my young life thinking I could heal my trauma and then move on. But like, you don't get to heal your trauma and then move on with the life you would have had. Healing your trauma takes up your life. And then by the time you wake up or decide to come out of that dream of something bad happened to me, so now I need to spend just as much time and energy, or way more time and way more energy to heal it. It's like, I don't even mean to put it in quotes. I feel very healed on a lot of topics, or at least very soothed on a lot of topics. Maybe we don't heal, but we create balms for ourselves, and we really can comfort and really change ourselves by living through some really hard things and then finding new ways to understand them, or finding new ways to identify with other people in pain, or finding just new parts of ourselves that can cope and can grow stronger than they maybe otherwise would have. And it's not to say we can wish trauma or we want to wish trauma on anybody, but it's like we are resilient beings, and we can rewrite it and redefine it in our minds. And so having gone through all that, it's just like, it took up like 20 years of my life. You know, the traumatic incidents took up way fewer than 20 years, but I've devoted over maybe 20 years of my life. Maybe not. Maybe I'm exaggerating. I think it's been 20. to healing it. And it's like at a certain point something in us just breaks and says, dear God, just move on already. Just not just move on already like a shame thing, because maybe that's what I detected from the people around me when I was younger. Maybe I detected such a sweep it under the rug energy that I didn't like that, and I almost pushed against that and said, no, I will take whatever time I want to explore this and to heal it. And now I'm like, oh, well, they did have some good points, you know? There is some value in people telling you, like, you might not want to make the traumatic thing your life. Like, there was wisdom to that. I just couldn't do that. I pushed against it because it's what I needed to do. So, you know, for those who believe wholeheartedly in therapy or bust or 12-step groups or bust or every self-help book under the sun or bust. I don't know why I'm saying or bust, but, you know, I'm not mad that I said or bust, but just, anyway, you get my point. If that's your foundation, that replaces the timeline, the lifeline, the path that you were on pre-trauma. So that's where I'm at, is very curious about what West means for me, whether metaphorically or physically. Exploring westerly places in my mind and my heart, exploring my own potential destiny, my own potential for growth, my own potential for not healing, but just exploring, separate from having ever been wounded. Just curiosity or resonance, where I actually feel resonance, like separate from the trauma. Or if we can't separate our trauma, then just who I am wholly and wholeheartedly and whole beingly, where I resonate. And if it's not this particular point on a map in Michigan, then that's nothing to feel bad about for me, and it's nothing to say against this point on the map of Michigan. It's just maybe I've had too much trauma here, or maybe it's something other than that. Maybe it's just sometimes we resonate more with other places and we feel called to explore. So maybe I just have a nomadic soul, but that's what I've been going through ever since being back. I really like having been west, and I think it's partly because my family, everyone that I'm blood related to, is far, far west of me. So, yeah. I don't know. Curious to explore. Looking forward to a post everything that 2020 has going on kind of year, but whatever. Not going to get into that, because I tried getting into that, and my YouTube is not meant to be a weird political thing. I got my first unlike ever on my Black Lives Matter very peaceful protest vigil in downtown peaceful little Grand Haven, Michigan. Like, not that I'm not doing it because of a thumbs down, just like I personally don't want to try to be a voice of anything. I can barely even be a voice of myself. And that may be the trauma speaking, but I actually think it's my wisdom speaking. And in fact, I've sensed that there are groups, and this is getting a little political to say this, but there are people who do shame people for staying removed. I understand, I hear your point. I am not removed when it's needed. I've announced who I support, which is, you know, anybody who's kind, not anybody who's shaming or cruel to other people. Like, but beyond that, I state that whenever I feel it's right to state it, and other than that, I stay focused on artistic things, because that's where I'm more useful. Ooh, sky. I don't even know if you can really see. Oh, there we go. Had to change the angle a little bit to get the colors. Well, that's my home. My home for now, anyway. Could be years. Could be decades. Probably not this house that we rent. Could be months. I don't know. It's kind of fun to dream again and wonder where I belong. I don't know. It's the bird in me. I like flight. being grounded or rooted is actually very abnormal for me. Unless there's like a trajectory, like 4 years of school or 2 years of school or a specific job that's going well. I like my business, but it's all online right now, so it's kind of very strange. Like having very few anchors, very few tethers. I mean, I got this guy, he's great, but he'd come with me wherever I go. I hope. All right, bye.